These are your candidates for sheriff. We have Billy Joe Crouch, Bobby Edwards, Mark Martin, John Morgan, Tommy Myers, Herb Rowland, and Rodney Wiles.
Welcome, candidates. Thank you for joining us. Let's get started. We'll be starting on the left with your 3-minute opening statements.
Thank you for inviting us out tonight. My name's Billy Joe Crouch, and I'm running for sheriff, independent ticket. I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself. I see a lot of familiar faces out there that already know, but I was raised in Morrison area. I went to Morrison School. I graduated from Warren County Senior High in 1979. I got married in 1981. I've got 2 grown sons. I've got 1 daughter-in-law and 3 grandchildren that I'm really proud of and I like to spoil. Also, I love to serve my community. I'm a captain at the Morrison Fire Department. I've been there for over 20 years. I'm also a lifetime member of the Warren County Rescue Squad. I've been there for over 20 years. Those are 2 real good groups, and I encourage people that's not out looking for something to do is to volunteer. Your time is needed in these organizations. Also, I started in the Warren County Sheriff's Department in 2005. I started out as a correction officer. I worked my way up to court officer in General Sessions Court. In 2008, I graduated from the police academy as a certified officer. I'm currently serving the county now as a sergeant on the road to patrol, and I love my job. I love working for the county. The last 5 years also, I've been a part-time truck driver for the meth task force. I've been all the way across the state working different counties with meth labs, opioids, and we've got a big job to do. I'd like to be your next sheriff. Thank you.
How you doing this evening? My name's Bobby Edwards. I'm married to Leah Edwards, and I graduated at Warren County High School in 1972 at the old school, and I started my law enforcement career in, it was 1989. You have to excuse me, I am very nervous on this right here. But anyway, I started my law enforcement career in 1989. I went to work for Mason Black as a jailer, worked my way up to a deputy, and also worked for Sheriff Matheny as an investigator. After I worked for Sheriff Matheny, I went to Murfreesboro Police Department. Worked there as a patrolman until my retirement till 2013. From my experiences I've gained as working at the Warren County Sheriff's Department and working in the Murfreesboro Police Department, I feel I'm very qualified to be your sheriff. I'm asking you to please give me a chance to put my experience to work for you. And as I'm running in the August the 2nd general election, I'm asking you to vote for me, Bobby Edwards, and I appreciate it and I thank you. And I'd like to thank y'all for putting this on tonight. And I'm a Navy veteran. As a Navy veteran, I'm very proud that y'all are getting involved in this politics, and I appreciate it. Thank y'all.
Hello, I'm Mark Martin. I'm running for sheriff in the August general election. Thank y'all for having us out tonight, and Ms. Lippy for the invitation. Tell you a little bit about me. I'm the son of Ken and Nona Martin. My wife is Melinda Martin. I have 2 adult children, Bailey and Matthew. I've been with the Sheriff's Department for 23 years under the current Sheriff's administration. Pretty much started in law enforcement right out of high school as a jailer. Worked in the jail for quite some time. I was promoted to road deputy, from road deputy to investigator to captain, and now I serve as chief investigator at the Sheriff's Office. Some of the roles that I am currently involved in is investigations and overseeing all investigations inside or outside the county. Also is my involvement is with the SRO program and school safety. I work with the school systems now, every principal, the school superintendent, and the school board to try to make sure that our schools are as safe as they possibly can be. We implement programs every year, try to review the school safety programs every year. We do drills with the school on a regular basis to try to ensure the safety of our children, because that is one of the most important things to me, and I think to the community as a whole. I do have experience in the jail. I have experience overseeing a $6.5 million budget with our current sheriff. It's very important to be a good with a budget to make sure that you're not overspending in certain areas, because it seems like at the end of the year you always have things that come up that you have to borrow from one line item to pay another line item. So I do have experience with that, experience not only with the jail budget, the sheriff's budget, but also the drug fund budget, which is totally different in how it works. Not against inmates getting out and work programs. We have that now. We've worked 65 inmates on a monthly basis, more than any county surrounding us. I'm not against that at all. If we're going to build upon that, then we're going to have more money to put guards out there to watch these people. I'm not for, like some counties, for instance, Coffee County, that has a program where they just release prisoners to the public to do work, or to the public, say the Civic Center, dropping them off and letting them work. But I am okay with working them, and that's something we will continue if I'm elected sheriff.
Good evening. My name's John Morgan. I want to appreciate you here for having it out tonight. I want to appreciate all the people for coming. I saw earlier our sheriff was here. I think he's left now. After 24 years, he's laying down the gauntlet. I'm ready to pick that gauntlet up where he lays it down and run with it. I'd like to give the sheriff a round of applause for his 24 years service. My wife Renee is here with me. We have 5 children grown. We have 2 grandchildren. I was raised in the Rock Island campaign area. I know McMinnville good. I know Warren County good. I've worked all over this county in different aspects of jobs. I'm a combat engineer veteran of the Vietnam War era. I also was with the Army National Guard for 3 years. Joined the police department in 1978, where I worked my way up to lieutenant on the night shift. Night shift lieutenant is in charge of the city. All decisions and everything that happens tonight is laid in my lap, and I successfully served in that area for 18 years. I will, if you elect me as your sheriff, make you proud to say that John Morgan is your sheriff. I am John Morgan, and I want to be your sheriff. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tommy Myers. Excuse me, I've been sick for several days, so if I start coughing, I apologize up front. I want to thank the young Republicans and Democrats for having us here tonight. That tells me a lot about you. Obviously, with Warren County, it's sad to say that less than 20% of our citizens actually vote. And that varies from year to year. I am married to my lovely, wonderful wife, Crystal. I have 2 sons, Clayton and Ty. My son, Clayton, just graduated from this school just a few years ago, still on this stage, received a golf scholarship. My youngest son will soon attend this school, I hope. He's in middle school currently. I'm a lifelong resident of this community. I love my community. I've been in law enforcement 28 years, and my entire career has been spent at this sheriff's department, protecting and serving you, the citizens of this community. Most of my career I spent as a criminal investigator and a captain investigator. And through those years, I learned a lot, did a lot, been blessed with a lot of hard work. And each of you can do a lot just by hard work and dedication to what you choose to do. Children that's leaving the school this year. I'm currently your chief deputy. I deal daily with budget, jail issues, court issues, everything that the sheriff would tend to daily. With that said, I have a lot of knowledge with the Sheriff's Department, how it works, how our budget is. I know tonight you've heard a lot about taxes and so forth. The Sheriff's Department has its own budget. The jail has its own budget. The Sheriff's Department, I can assure you, I can make us a better, more effective Sheriff's Department from day one. You know, the sheriff there's a lot of spokes in that wheel the sheriff has to deal with it. A lot of people don't realize. And you have a spoke that comes loose or a spoke that breaks, that wheel could stop. Or we definitely don't want it to go backwards. I can roll that wheel forward from day one. I'm committed to you, the citizens of Warren County, to provide you with the best Sheriff's Department possible because I am a lifelong resident here. This is where I live and work. I will provide you with a solid law enforcement. I'll be fair but firm. I will be available to you 24/7. And I encourage you, and I appreciate your vote in August the 2nd. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Herb Rowland, and I'm running for sheriff as a Democrat in May 1 Democratic primary. First of all, I'd like to thank the young people, Democrats and Republicans, for putting on this seminar this evening. I think you're to be commended for your interest in government. My advice to you is don't quit now. Stay with it. Politics is an interesting thing. Sometimes it can get kind of rough, but as a general rule, it is a real experience. I've been an officer for 40 years, most of it here in Warren County. Over 30 years of it, I've been with the Warren County Sheriff's Department. I've went through from the very lowest officer to plumb up to next to the sheriff. I enjoyed it. I know all the aspects of running the sheriff's office. I've been there, done that. I've jailed. At one time when I started, we didn't have jailers. So every officer that arrested somebody had to do his own jailing. I know the paperwork that's involved. I know that all there is to know about it. And first of all, I'd say we have a good sheriff's department. We have a good sheriff's department, but it's not perfect, as most of you would agree. I work at the courthouse now as a sergeant over security up there. I see hundreds of people a week. They come in and they tell me their gripes about what they think ought to be done. I hear it all the time. This needs to be changed, that needs to be changed. And some of these things I can change, some of those things I cannot. Some of them go way over my head. They're over the sheriff's head. There's problems that people lay at the sheriff's door that the sheriff cannot control. Jail overcrowding, sheriff cannot control that. Jackie handles it the very best way he can. Now, like Tommy said, we've got, well, I think it was Mark said, we got 55 inmates on work release. And if they wasn't there, it would help a lot. But there's another thing that most people don't know about is our drug court. We've got 100 people on drug court that if it wasn't for the drug court right now, they'd be out there in jail. So that's 100 less than we would have if it weren't for the drug court. So there are things that's being done to alleviate the problem. We can't keep putting people in jail. We need services to alleviate that problem. The next thing I want to say is I'm a veteran. In 1965, I received a letter from the President Lyndon Johnson inviting me to come out and join his people in the United States Army, which I went and served for 2 years, wound up with 6 years of service. I attended Tennessee Tech University for 2 years studying criminal justice. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Rodney Wiles, and I want to be your next sheriff. A little bit about myself. I'm married to my high school sweetheart, Deetra, for 18 years now. Got 2 lovely daughters here tonight, Ashton, 16, Maggie May, 10, both in the local school system. Congratulate Ashton tonight. She hit her 6th homer of the year. Warren County won big in Stone Memorial. A little bit about myself. I'm a community servant. I've done it my whole career. Been coaching girls softball and basketball for 13 years now. I've also, my second year, coaching middle school girls softball. I don't have any kids on that team. I just do it for a passion for the community and to help the children. I think they need positive role models out here, dealing with them daily, help lead them to where they get today, like we have the young Republicans and young Democrats out here tonight. A little bit about my career. I've been 13 years as a police officer now. I started my career at the Warren County Sheriff's Department, went to the McMinnville Police Department where I worked as a patrolman for 3 years, and then I went to the Tennessee Highway Patrol where I've served as a state trooper for the last 10 years. I feel like I'm the most qualified candidate for this job just for the simple fact of working as a state trooper for the last 10 years. Those last 10 years I've worked 7 different counties. I see firsthand on a daily basis how 7 different sheriff's departments operate inside and out. Every one of these gentlemen standing here to my right are excellent candidates and will do a great job as sheriff if they're elected. The difference is if you want someone to change. I can offer change. Like I said, I've worked for 7 different counties, see firsthand inside and out daily. Martin down there, he said he disagreed with a lot of things that I'm interested in. He said they have 65 inmates they currently use as trustees, and he don't want to put them out here like Coffee County does. 2 years ago, Coffee County saved their county over $900,000 in inmate labor. That's something us as a county, we have to make that decision. I'm not looking at putting violent people or any type of flight risk out here in the county working. I'm wanting them to work to help make the community, to help us grow and to help us succeed. One thing I want to do is take the state right-of-way litter cleanup program and start cleaning our roadways up. By doing that, I've talked to several nursery owners that are willing to donate. That way we can put these nice nursery supplies at the front of our roads, at the main entrance, and continue down the median with them to help dress it up so we can help bring more revenue to Warren County. Once again, I'm Rodney Wiles. I'm running as a Democrat, being the May 1st primaries. Truly appreciate y'all's vote, and God bless.
Thank you all for your opening statements. We'll be handling the order of the questions just a little bit different to prevent the same person from going last every time. And we apologize for implementing this so late in the program, but first question will start on the left, second on the right, third on the left. So beginning with Mr. Crouch, first question. Are you in favor of rehabilitation alternatives to jail for persons convicted of crimes? If so, what types of programs would you implement?
I am very for rehab inmates. You know, we do have a lot of guys out and females out there to jail are good people. They make some bad decisions. And I believe with some rehab, if they're on opioids or other drugs, I think if we can get some programs for that, I think will help. But, you know, educate them. Education is a good thing. It always goes back to money. We have done it in the past on grants, but grants run out. But I'm glad to hear tonight that our county commissioners and county executives are looking into programs. So to answer that question, yes. Thank you.
Me? Okay. Yes, I'm in favor of rehab and is finding as many programs as we can find. I've looked into one rehab program, and it's called Renewed Life Ministries. And it's not a halfway house. It's a faith-based program, very successful. And I know the executive director personally, and I've been talking to him. And he would like to come here and put his program to work in Warren County. And but I'm very in favor of rehab. We're going to have to rehab some of these people. A lot of them don't, you know, are not wanting rehab, but there are some that do. And the ones that do, we need to help them. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Martin?
I will start by saying I'm one of the original members of the drug court program here in Warren County. So I have a knowledge of how that works as far as getting people out of the jail and the criteria that we look at as far as trying to help these people. So I am in favor of helping as many people as possible. but not in favor of helping people if it's people that put public at risk. As far as if there's a public safety issue there, we have a lot of people in our jail that are in jail for serious crimes, and we just can't let everybody out. So there's always going to be need for a jail. There's always going to be room for improvement as far as helping people, and I'll definitely try to do that if I can.
I'm very much in favor of rehab, but forced rehab never helped anybody. It's always a repeat rehab for those type of people. As far as alternative sentencing, I'm all for that. Work release programs, which we used to have, people that are nonviolent offenders and have a job, I'm for that. Ankle bracelets, house arrest, alternative incarceration is where you have a facility that's run by a private entity, and the people pay to stay there themselves and stay out of the jail. And a lot of people will pay what it takes to stay out of jail. And that would alleviate a whole lot of our overcrowding. But yes, I'm open to suggestions on a lot of ways to empty that jail out. Thank you.
My answer will be yes also. We currently have the drug program and we implement that daily, something we do all the time. We have 251 beds, ladies and gentlemen, and we average over 320 inmates every day. A lot of those inmates do not need to be there. They're members of our community just like you are and I am. There's mental illness issues we need to deal with also, but drug and alcohol rehab is a must. I also want to add that we need job skills classes for these inmates, like you've heard all night long. Excuse me. There's other counties across Tennessee that I've been in touch with, and they implement these programs. We've tried one before, we ran out of money, grant money. I would love to implement this again. We need it badly. These other sheriff's departments that are doing this across the state are telling us that they're having over a 70% success rate. I don't know about you, but I think that's great. That's all. Thank you.
I'm definitely in favor of rehabilitation. I'm over the transport officers. I'm their supervisor, so I know daily what they're doing, who they're hauling. We make approximately 10 or 12 trips out of town a week hauling people to rehab. Now, they don't all make it. We have several, they just want to use it as an excuse to get out of jail for a few days, and then we got to go get them and bring them back and put them back in jail. But I'm all in favor of it. If they're really sincere, then it'll work. I have seen a few cases where it really works and people turn their lives around. So I'm definitely in favor of it.
Guys, our problem keeps increasing. I believe the tactics we've been throwing at it is not working. We're having to build a $6 million jail expansion now for the overcrowding. I believe we're going to have to change our tactics, number one, try different types of rehabilitation for the alcohol and drug assessment. And number two, like I said, I'm wanting to put them to work. I believe the work ethic to some of these people is what they really need. We've got some young people that goes in there, spends time in jail with meth cooks, with professional burglars, and all they're doing is furthering their criminal career in there. So, like I said, I'd like to change the style, how we do the rehabilitation, and also put the guys to work, teach them work ethic.
Thank you, candidates. For this question, we'll begin with you, Mr. Wiles. How would you ensure the safety of every student attending school in Warren County?
Well, first of all, I think that we're...
Oh, excuse me. Sorry, it's the far right, so Mr. Wiles.
Sorry about that.
Can you repeat the question again?
Yes, of course. How would you ensure the safety of every student attending school in Warren County?
That's a very good question. I think they're doing an excellent job with the SRO programs now that we're having here. I think that we do need to further our training and education as far as better protect our students here. Metal detectors are going to be a must. Even with metal detectors, that's still not going to help the issues in the parking lot with the children entering in the morning time. We've got to be able to stop the problem when we first see it, and I feel like now, like I said, they do an excellent job, but I feel right now, honestly, and then it's all just not at the school, but in law enforcement, you're in a reactive situation where if a situation like that happens, you know, you're trying to access the threat as quick as you can and save as many students' lives as possible. But I think we'll have to implement, and it'll cost some money. If you've seen anything on Facebook where some of the schools with some of the steam pipes that they're saying that they can put smoke and steam on the violator in the hallways, and also where they have cameras that are watched through dispatch as well and can also alert the officers.
Me now?
Yes.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'd like to say that I think Warren County Sheriff's Department has done an excellent job in preparing our school resource officers. We now have officers in every school. The high school here has 2. I don't think metal detectors will ever work because, first of all, you got to run every student that goes in there through it. And as many students as we have here at Warren County High, it'd take a half a day to get everybody into the building. It's a slow process. You know, we currently do that at the courthouse. If you've got 100 people coming in for jury duty, it takes about 30 or 40 minutes to get those people through there. So if you got 1,800, 2,000 students try to get in here, it would take all day to get them into class. It'd be time for them to go home before they ever got to school. So I don't think metal detectors, I think SROs is there to observe and take care of the problem. Thank you.
I agree, Mr. Rowland, no metal detectors. But I was at the table several years ago when the question was asked about putting 8 more SROs in our schools. And I'd like to thank Mr. Bennett. I think he was a big pusher on that got that done. I was asked if we could provide 8 of our seasoned veteran officers at the time. Well, no, not today, but over the years we made it happen. And if there's more needed, we can make that work. Right now, our SROs are doing a great job. Thank God we've not had any issues at our schools like that you turn on the news every day, it's very depressing about what's going on in our country with our schools and our kids and our officers getting shot. At one time, it was almost every week you saw an officer get shot. And now there's guns going into schools. These are all big issues, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be issues that your next sheriff and your judges will have to face, and your county executive. Thank you.
Double down on the resources that you already have ready available to you. I have not seen any crimes committed that were heinous or felonious in front of a patrol officer in my 40 years. With elected sheriff, day one, I will have my supervisor to assign a patrol car to each school out in the county, the beginning of the day and the end of the day, to officer presence to go along with the SRO that's already there. Periodically throughout the day, that officer will also be responsible for checking in on that school throughout the day when calls are down or when he's not doing anything else. And this will be reported to 911, so I will know he's doing it. You use the resources you already have to keep our precious students safe so they can come home to us. It may never happen in Warren County, but if we don't step up and do something, it can happen in Warren County. Thank you.
Let me start by saying our SROs are great. They do a wonderful job. And I think all of what everyone said is good ideas, but it all starts with the relationship that our SROs have with the kids. If they build those strong relationships with you guys, then they're going to know where the problem children are. Or if there's a kid in school that's talking about bringing a gun into school. That's part of the reason that we worked with the school system about starting the text-to-tip line that just recently launched. We have to have those communications with you guys because y'all are the ears, y'all are the ones that knows what's going on in these schools, more so than the staff. So I think there's always room for improvements. We always look at things that we can do to try to make the schools as safe as possible But I think our SROs need a pat on the back because they do a great job.
What I'd like to do if I'm elected sheriff is, I know we have one resource officer in all the schools except for the high school, and there's 2 resource officers in there. I would like to work with the school system, and I would like to double the SROs at each school. That's my plan. And if we do this, we won't have to worry about talking about arming teachers. And that's my plan there. Thank you.
I agree with all these gentlemen up here. It's hard to be last and come up with these good ideas. However, I do strongly agree we have very good SROs, and I'm very proud of each and every one of you. And most of them here tonight, and they got Mark Martin shirts on, so that's the good thing. With all jokes aside, I think training, keep these SROs trained, well-trained, keep our deputies trained in case something happens. We all know what to do. You respond as you're trained. Also work along with other agencies, the McMillan Police Department, the state troopers, just training and working together. Thank you.
Thank you. The final question, beginning with you, Mr. Crouch, is what distinguishes you from other candidates?
Well, as y'all look over here, Warren County is very blessed to have these gentlemen want to be your next sheriff as well as I am. But there's nothing that I'd like to set up here and tell you that stands out, but I work every day with the Sheriff Department as a road deputy. I have worked at the jail. I know some problems at the jail. I work with the people of Warren County every day on patrol. I see firsthand the crime. I see firsthand the need of our county. And I believe as the next sheriff, I would be capable to listen and to try to work with each and every one. Thank you.
Well, each one of these candidates up here are very capable of being sheriff and will make a fine sheriff, no matter who's voted in. The only thing I can say is I want to be your next sheriff, but I wish all these guys the best of luck. But I do have 22 and a half years experience as a law enforcement officer. All I can say is I'll promise to work hard and give it my all to work for you, the citizens of Warren County. And that'll be every day, all day long. And I appreciate it. Thank you.
Just like these guys said, everybody up here is fine men, and I think in my eyes what makes me stand apart is my experiences at the Sheriff's Department have been in the jail, on the road, as an investigator, as an administrator, working with the school system. I've worked with so many different aspects of the Sheriff's Department. I feel like I have the most well-rounded experience versus everyone else. Like I said, there's good men up here. I'm just asking for your vote in August. I appreciate it.
I have told my wife and a lot of my supporters that if I wasn't running for sheriff, I would have a hard time figuring out who to vote for. Everybody up here is a friend of mine. I consider in one way or the other. Been through a lot of stuff with some of them. But my desire, my work ethic, I think, I love to work. A lot of people fish, a lot of people golf, a lot of people hunt. I work. I don't own a boat. I don't go hunting. I love to work. My desire is to better the law enforcement and better the safety in Warren County, and I want to be the sheriff that will be out in the county working on a daily basis with my team and with the citizens. And if the citizens call and they need to talk to the sheriff, don't come to my office. Let me know where you're at, and I'll come to you. Thank you.
As far as experience, ladies and gentlemen, I said it earlier, my whole career has been here, protecting and serving you with the Sheriff's Department for 28 years. I'm currently second in charge as your chief deputy, and I have been chief deputy for the last 8 years or so, and I'm obviously an administrator. I have the experience, the knowledge. I annually go to Sheriff's Association meetings. I've learned a lot from our local sheriffs. I have all their cell phone numbers in my phone right now. I can call them with any help. I want to continue to work with all of our federal, state, and local law enforcement. I know I have the knowledge and experience, and I'd love to be your sheriff. Thank you.
Well, law enforcement's all I know. I'm too old to start all over. I've got over 40 years of experience, over 35 years of that in the sheriff's office. I went from the bottom up next to the top, and I'm asking to go to the top now. 3 of these guys that are running worked for me at one time or another. And I know what they're talking about. They've been there. They're good men, all of them. I know every one of them. Every one of them's friends of mine. And but I still appreciate you vote for me. Thank you.
First of all, I'm a professional and a perfectionist. I'm a 10-year veteran of the Highway Patrol. The Highway Patrol, we're one of the top law enforcement agencies in the world year in and year out, and that's obtained through training and technology. And that's one thing is working on the Highway Patrol with my numerous certifications and certificates I have. I believe that sets me apart. Seeing the technology side of it that we deal with every day, and also looking at seeing 7 different sheriff's departments on a daily basis. I believe that's what makes me to be your best candidate for sheriff. Thank y'all, and God bless.
Thank you, candidates, and thank you everyone for joining us and supporting us. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey.